Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Alaska. Now the other day we got a new ship called the Puerto Rico, which is just essentially an Alaska with an extra turret, less armor, and I said in that video that there is almost no situation in this game where I would rather be in the Puerto Rico than the Alaska. And I mean that. And so, yeah. If you watched the stream the other day of ranked battles, I managed to get a new camo as well. So I figured now was the perfect time to show off our brand new Alaska camo in all of her stars and stripes glory. I love this camo. You guys know that. And Alaska looking real good in this thing. So without further ado, let's get into the gameplay, shall we? Alrighty, so we are on Crash Zone, and we're in the new Alaska. And by new Alaska, I mean my Alaska, the original Alaska, the free Alaska that you can go out and research through the Bureau Project for absolutely nothing. I know, this is why I say the Puerto Rico, to me, isn't worth it. The Alaska is just better in almost every single conceivable way. This ship can tank, unlike the Puerto Rico. Everybody would be like, well, Spartan, the Puerto Rico is a secondary cruiser. Okay, that's where you're wrong. You know what secondary cruisers tend to have in their advantage? Armor. You know what the freaking Puerto Rico doesn't have? Armor. Now, it's not just about the bow and stern plating, okay? I know a lot of people bring that up. It just doesn't have... Yeah, it's got 27 mil, right? Which is what the Balti has. It's what the Des Moines has. I don't have a problem with that, okay? But the problem for me is that it's supposed to be a close quarter ship, right? But it can't take hits. It just can't. At every conceivable angle, that ship just gets yeeted. Whereas the Alaska, you can be a lot more aggressive than you realize. And a lot of people don't play the Alaska in that sort of what's the word I'm looking at? I say concept came to mind, but anyway. Basically, what I'm trying to get to is the Alaska's guns are fantastic, which means the Puerto Rico's guns are fantastic. You're not going to complain about the guns. They're accurate, they're punchy, they can citadel battleships, they can absolutely yeet cruisers, given the opportunity. Like, there's nothing wrong with the guns, right? So adding an extra turret's never going to be a bad thing. But the place that the Alaska shines is going to be shown in this video right here for you guys. And it's not going to happen yet. But right now, you can see I'm waiting. Like, I don't want to wait, or I don't want to shoot too soon. I want to wait for the Zao to make his mistake. As soon as he gives me too much angle and stays there, he's mine, right? We just got to wait. But unfortunately, my teammates decided they wanted to run away at the first sign of contact, so they just immediately head to the border, which forces these guys to turn. But fortunately, Zao makes way too much of a turn, and while he's still in that turn and I'm about to go behind the island, I mean, this is Alaska guns doing Alaska gun things. Blunk. Right? Like, this is just what you're going to get. And whether you're a battleship or cruiser, it don't make a difference. These guns are fully capable of citadeling battleships as much as they are cruisers. Alright? So don't get complacent. Ask any Yamato who's ever been on the receiving end of my Alaska up close and personal. I will send you to the Shadow Realm with haste. Okay? But the thing that the Alaska class struggles with, in my opinion, is all of the new DPM cruisers, if they are left to do DPM cruiser things. Now here we get another beautiful look, and of course in true Spartan fashion, we've got to leave them with just enough for somebody else to get the kill. But we're not spotted. We know the Republique was headed out this way. We know there's a Des Moines up close in the middle. Right? We don't know where their destroyer went, or even if there was a destroyer there to begin with. But given the fact that my battleship over the middle is coming in, I believe it's a Montana, you can see I get into the chat here. I'm like, hey, fellas, I know it's real scary to see an enemy ship once in a while, but you guys want to turn your ships around and head the right direction here? but I digress. Anyway, we're going to push forward. I'm going to try to bully this Des Moines. I'm going to try to bully this Republique. Now, you can see Republique is absolutely begging for it. We take the shot. At this point, he's angled slightly, but he's going to turn away, and I should be able to pin this. 9 times out of 10, I would expect to pin that, but I actually shattered, which is shocking. To shatter an AP shell from an Alaska is impressive. But yeah, it's not going to happen again. This time we aim a little bit higher, get above that belt, and yeah, that's more like what we can expect. Almost every single shell pins. But as he angles away here, again, we're going to angle ourselves as best we can. We can deal with this guy, no problem. Des Moines, I mean, this is disrespectful. You can't do this, Des Moines. You can see we're taking some damage, but it's you know, within reason. And we get a single citadel there. We're going to turn our rear guns here, try to get the rear gun on the Des Moines as well, shooting straight over the Republique to do it, because Des Moines is actually the bigger threat to me. The Republique, he doesn't have the DPM really to scare me all that much. Yeah, he hurts, but like I can bully him, kind of. The Des Moines has the DPM to be a problem. And if I don't get rid of him right now while he's like vulnerable, then he gets to kite. That DPM is going to hurt. At least it would if the guy had any sense whatsoever, but he's already proven that that's not the case. Now, as we come back around the corner, you can see we've got a beautiful beached repub. We can't go through his backside most likely, so we go superstructure and we hit him and finish him off, landing 4 out of 6 shells. Now, like I said, you are never going to complain about the accuracy of an Alaska. Yes, some people will be like, well, Spartan, they nerfed the Alaska, but that was after they overbuffed it. You guys remember Stalingrad in Alaska when they overbuffed them? Good God. And Stalingrad's still kind of spicy, too, if it don't get caught broadside. And I don't know why they decided to give that thing HE. It doesn't need it. It should only ever shoot AP. That thing is ridiculous. But I digress. Speaking of most of the time only using AP, we've got the Alaska here, and we're going to do Alaska things. Now, we're not there yet. You got to be patient. We've showcased, you know, being able to take hits from a pretty sizable battleship, a 17-inch gun battleship, you know, from the Repub, up close and personal. That was horrific, horrific accuracy. But you're going to get that from time to time, right? Like, it's to be expected. You can't have laser beams all the time. I would much rather have that shot now than later on, right? But as we continue to push forward, I'm going to try to get this guy spotted. And you'll notice that I stay spotted. Now, in my head, this means Destroyer comes back. But as you can clearly see on the minimap, it's the Des Moines that's spotting me, right? He's well within my spotting range, and that's one of the downsides of the Alaska class is they have, I mean, they're big ships. They're almost the size of an Iowa, man. Like that. To put that in perspective, this cruiser is almost, it's bigger than a lot of battleships were. I don't know the exact details, but I'm sure I could find it real quick. But as we come around the corner, you can see my Montana did the right thing, went through the Alpha cap, grabs that cap, and now he's put himself in a good position to counter this Des Moines. And unlike me, he does actually overmatch the Des Moines. Now, me, I can still pin this Des Moines if I can hit him, and you can see that right there. That's why I didn't bother switching to HE, because if I get one good salvo, there's a chance that I still kill this Des Moines in 1 or 2 salvos. Where switching to HE, I mean, you gotta kind of, like, yeah, sure, the shells will still do damage, but they're gonna do less damage overall. And then, yeah, that shot is beautiful. But you can see we do end up ricocheting and shattering a couple of shells, but we had 5 overpins there, which means that guy got real lucky to not just be yeeted. Those were coming in at a decent angle, but yeah, Montana, he's gonna finish him off, sending him to the Shadow Realm. But as I look up the stats and we try to cross the map, you can see that our team has map control and cap control. We're now pushing straight across. You can see I'm trying to head off the enemy. You can see the cruiser was going from right to left. The battleships are going from right to left. So I'm putting myself in a kind of intercept path, right? I want to get into the enemy ships. But the problem is a lot of people don't understand that. They've never played football. They've never played basketball. They don't understand that, you know, you've got to go to where they're going rather than where they're at. And that's one of the reasons that a lot of battleships find themselves out of position so often, is they go so often they're chasing ghosts rather than trying to get themselves in position to counter where the enemy is going. Trying to find the tonnage. Yeah, so the Alaska class had a displacement of 34,253 long tons. That is the size of a battleship. That really is. Like, that is actually the size of a battleship. I think, what is it? I'm going to probably get yeeted for this. Somebody's going to yell at me, but I'm pretty sure that maybe the fast battleships were bigger, but there's a huge shot on the USS Voyager. Again, showcasing why would anybody get the Voyager? I don't know. Like, it's not that easy, or it's not that hard to get rid of it. It's pretty simple. It's got good guns. Again, fantastic guns. Montana comes in and cleans up again. Gummit. But we're going to try to put ourselves in position. Anyway, like I said, I don't remember exactly what the South Dakota classes or the North Carolina class battleships had, but I don't think they were that much bigger maybe they were 45,000 tons, somewhere in that neighborhood. So to put that into perspective, I mean, they're only 10,000 tons bigger than the Alaska. That's not a big difference when it comes to ships. But anyway, back to the game. We are going to put ourselves in a position to intercept 2 Preußens. Now, I dare you. I double dog dare you to do this in the whatever, Puerto Rico. I dare you. Do what I'm about to do in the Puerto Rico. You can't. You'll just get murdered immediately. And this is why I say that anybody who builds the Puerto Rico for a secondary class cruiser is insane. Because you have to deal with these guys, plus everything else.
Concentrate fire on the target.
And by the time you ever get within secondary range, you're just dead. Right? Now, you can see, we're going to take some damage here, right? No doubt about it. Also, terrible shot on the Velos. I don't know if that was my fault or the game's fault, but just missed completely. But what we're going to do now is we're going to shoot at the broadside of these Preußens. They're just begging for it, right? Like, these guys are dodging for some reason, or just trying to get all their guns to bear. Unfortunately, destroys one of my turrets. And you can see, I go ahead and I'm trying to keep the Velo spotted here. And I thought maybe he was going to go into the smoke screen and disappear. So I'm like, okay, I'll radar him. Surely my team can shoot him. I've got a destroyer right there that should be able to shoot him. Destroyers beyond the smoke screen shouldn't be getting spotted and should be able to just murder this Velos. And I've got people behind me, but unfortunately all the people behind me went behind the island to my right. So now I'm sitting here trying to stay angled to these Preußens, because bad news if I don't, right? I mean, they're unlikely to citadel me at this angle, like at this close, but still, I don't want to go broadside to them. But I dare you to do this in the Puerto Rico. You can't. You'll just die. Like, they just shoot straight through your bow, or basically anywhere else. Like, you maybe get lucky and ricochet something off of your belt, but more often than not, you're just going to get smashed for it, because it's very flat. Whereas the Alaska can just tank this. Like, I'm not even worried at this point. Yeah, it's annoying. He knocks my gun out. Yeah, I've got to stay pretty well angled. There, he finally shoots my superstructure, which is the biggest weakness of the Alaska. If you're in a battleship and he's bow tanking you, just go shoot a superstructure. You'll get a lot of damage, but as you can see, we slap him again, but unfortunately he goes down right as we get another big hit. But, I mean, this just showcases, like, you can't do that in a Puerto Rico. And this is free. You don't have to do anything crazy to get this. It's just a Bureau project. So personally, I would say, screw the Puerto Rico. And again, if you're a collector, if you're from Puerto Rico, I get it. But everyone else, there's no reason to get to Puerto Rico. There really isn't. Let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments below. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.